The sound of my fingertips rapidly tapping calculator keys echoed through my modest home office, competing with the gentle hum of her laptop. Colorful drawings adorned the walls, a testament to my son's artistic talent that I proudly displayed. As I finalized a client's year-end financial statement, I glanced anxiously at both the clock and the calendar where Hospital Volunteer Day was circled in red. I am Elise Parker. I have a son named Tyler. Mom, aren't you finished yet? 10-year-old Tyler peeked into the room, his bright brown hair falling across his forehead, and his expressive blue eyes, so reminiscent of his father, watching me curiously. A half-finished watercolor painting was clutched in his other hand. I smiled warmly and reached for my coffee mug, the slight tremor in my hand a barely noticeable reminder of my past health struggles. I'll be done soon, sweetie. Did you finish your homework? I asked him. Tyler nodded and proudly held up the paper. I solved all the math problems, but I have a question about my history project, he replied. I felt that familiar surge of pride warming her chest. Tyler's academic enthusiasm always touched me deeply. I'd worked tirelessly as an accountant while raising him alone, building a reputation for meticulous work that allowed me the flexibility of working from home. Since my father's fatal heart attack 5 years ago, my responsibilities had doubled, but the medication bottle discreetly tucked in my desk drawer reminded me daily that life was precious, a lesson from my own battle with leukemia as a teenager. Can you wait just 10 more minutes? I promise I'll help with history when I'm finished with this statement. My phone suddenly lit up with a video call notification. I sighed when I saw my mother's name, Gwendolyn, on the screen. With reluctance weighing my finger, I accepted the call. Listen, Elise, Gwendolyn's crisp voice carried that familiar demanding tone as her perfectly coiffed hair and pearl necklace filled the screen. The elegantly decorated living room visible behind her was a stark contrast to my practical workspace. We need to discuss tomorrow's dinner party. Heather is bringing her fiancé. You will be coming, won't you? She asked. I frowned, feeling that old familiar twist in her stomach. My younger sister Heather had always been the golden child, beautiful, sociable, and our mother's undisputed favorite. By comparison, I was repeatedly reminded I was too practical and boringly responsible. Of course I'll come, Mom. Tyler and I both will, I replied. On the other end, I could see my mother's expression tighten with disapproval. Well, I suppose that's fine, but make sure he behaves himself properly. Don't let him distract from Heather's special evening. I bit back my defensive response. Tyler was unfailingly well-mannered. The problem had always been with my mother and sister's attitude toward us both. Don't worry. So tell me about Heather's fiancé? I asked. Nathan Sullivan. Pride radiated from Gwendolyn's face as she adjusted the camera to show off the grand foyer behind her. He's a highly successful children's rights attorney from an excellent family. Perfect for Heather, naturally. He graduated from Yale Law, is cultured, well-connected, she continued. I rolled my eyes internally while maintaining a pleasant expression as my mother continued boasting. In the reflection of my computer screen, I could see Tyler quietly listening, his young face already showing understanding beyond his years of the family dynamic at play. The next evening, I and Tyler arrived at Gwendolyn's stately suburban home, an imposing Tudor-style mansion that had been in the family for generations. Taking a steadying breath at the ornate entrance, I gave Tyler's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, trying to mask my own apprehension. It's okay, Mom, Tyler said, his artistic sensitivity making him unusually perceptive. I know Grandma and Heather don't really like us much, he said. My heart constricted at my son's quiet awareness. Children absorbed so much more than adults gave them credit for. As we entered without knocking, the sound of Heather's performative laughter drifted from the formal dining room where crystal chandeliers cast pristine light across the antique furniture. Through the doorway, I could see my sister posing in a designer cocktail dress, champagne flute in hand, being photographed by a friend for what would undoubtedly be another carefully curated Instagram post. Elise, Tyler, you finally decided to join us, Gwendolyn greeted us with a smile that never quite reached her eyes. Heather, darling. Elise and Tyler have arrived, my mother said to Heather. Heather turned, her professionally styled hair catching the light as she flashed a camera-ready smile toward me. Elise, I'm so glad you could make it. This is my fiancé, Nathan Sullivan, she said. A tall man with dark brown hair and unexpectedly kind eyes turned to face us. Something flickered in the edges of my memory, a strange feeling of familiarity that I couldn't quite place. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Elise," Nathan said in a warm, quiet voice that seemed at odds with the ostentatious setting. "I've heard so much about you from Heather." He extended his hand, and when I shook it, I noticed both the gentleness of his grip and the way his eyes genuinely seemed to study my face, as if searching for something. "Nice to meet you too, Nathan," I responded, still trying to place why he seemed familiar. "This is my son, Tyler," I said. Nathan crouched slightly to meet Tyler at eye level, a gesture that immediately distinguished him from Heather's previous boyfriends who had barely acknowledged the boy's existence. "Hello Tyler, I'm really glad to meet you. What grade are you in?" "Fifth grade," Tyler answered, his usual shyness evident but mixed with clear curiosity about this stranger who was actually speaking to him directly. "That's such a fascinating age," Nathan smiled warmly. "When I was in 5th grade, I built a model of the Roman Colosseum for the history fair." "Do you enjoy history?" he asked. Before Tyler could answer, Heather pointedly cleared her throat and held out her empty glass. "Nathan, darling, would you mind refreshing my drink?" "And look, someone's just posted our engagement photos on Instagram," Heather said. As the evening progressed, the conversation at the lavishly set table revolved exclusively around wedding plans, the exclusive venue Heather had secured, the celebrity chef catering the reception, and the designer creating her custom gown. No one bothered to ask for my input even once. "Elise," Heather suddenly announced between bites of her barely touched salmon, "you won't need to worry about any bridesmaid dress fittings since you're not going to be in the wedding party." I looked up in surprise, my fork freezing midway to my mouth. "I'm not a bridesmaid?" I asked. "I'm sorry, but we haven't exactly been close in forever, have we?" Heather's voice dripped with artificial regret while she simultaneously snapped another photo of her meal for social media. "Besides, with being a single mom and your busy work schedule, it would probably be too much for you anyway," Heather said. Gwendolyn nodded in agreement, patting her younger daughter's hand. "That's right, Elise. We wouldn't want to overburden you with responsibilities you can't properly handle," my mother added. I felt that familiar ache bloom in my chest but kept my expression carefully neutral. After years of similar treatment, I had perfected the art of hiding my hurt. Under the table, Tyler's small hand found mine and squeezed gently. Nathan, however, appeared visibly uncomfortable with the exchange. He set down his fork and said quietly but firmly, "Isn't family participation one of the most important elements of a wedding? I think Elise and Tyler should definitely be included in our special day." Heather turned to her fiancé with poorly concealed irritation. "Of course they're invited, Nathan. It's just that I've already promised the bridesmaid positions to my friends from college and the boutique." I sent Nathan a small, grateful smile. At least someone at the table seemed to possess basic human decency. Later, as I efficiently cleared dishes in the kitchen, a task Heather had predictably avoided, Nathan appeared at my side. "Can I help?" he offered, rolling up the sleeves of his expensive but understated shirt. "It's fine, I'm used to it," I answered, the familiar weight of being the family workhorse settling on my shoulders. "Heather and Mom always expect me to handle the practical matters," I said. Nathan studied her face for a long moment, his expression thoughtful. "You're quite different from how Heather described you," he said quietly. "What exactly did she tell you?" I asked, genuinely curious. "Nothing specific," Nathan replied with a gentle smile that seemed to hold something back. "I just hope we'll have more opportunities to talk. You and Tyler both seem like interesting people," he said. After he left, I was struck by a strange sensation of déjà vu. Nathan's face kept triggering something in my memory, like a word on the tip of my tongue. I was certain we had met somewhere before, but couldn't place when or where. During the quiet drive home, Tyler suddenly broke the silence. "Nathan seems really nice," he observed, staring out at the passing streetlights. "I wonder why he's marrying someone like Heather," he said. I couldn't help but laugh at my son's blunt assessment. "Tyler, you shouldn't say things like that about your aunt," I said. But as I navigated the familiar streets back to their modest condominium, I realized I'd been wondering exactly the same thing. As weeks passed, I found myself increasingly shut out from the wedding planning process. Heather's social media accounts overflowed with glamorous photos of venue visits, cake tastings, and dress fittings, events to which I was never invited. Yet paradoxically, I found myself handling much of the behind-the-scenes work, meticulously addressing invitation envelopes, diplomatically communicating with vendors, and fine-tuning contractual details that my sister couldn't be bothered with. I scrolled through Heather's Instagram one evening, seeing another perfectly filtered shot of her and friends toasting at a bridal shower I hadn't known about. The familiar sting of exclusion washed over me as I set aside my hurt feelings to double-check the catering numbers. "You're helping again?" Nathan's voice startled me as he appeared in the doorway of Gwendolyn's home office where I was organizing seating arrangements. "Heather seems too occupied with photo shoots to handle these practical matters herself," I said. "Don't worry about it," I shrugged, attempting nonchalance. "I'm good with details, occupational hazard of being an accountant." Nathan observed me silently for a moment, his thoughtful expression making me self-conscious. "You know," he finally said, "you seem strangely familiar to me somehow." I stopped working and looked up, meeting his gaze directly. "I've been feeling exactly the same way, but I can't quite place it," I said. The strange connection hung in the air between us, but before either could explore it further, Tyler burst into the room, his face alight with excitement. "Mom." "Nathan. I finished my history project," he announced, clutching a carefully crafted poster board. Nathan's attention immediately shifted to Tyler, his face warming with genuine interest. "What kind of project were you working on?" he asked. "A presentation about ancient Rome," Tyler answered proudly, spreading his artwork across the table. "I focused on the architecture and how it influenced modern buildings," Tyler explained. "Really? I've always been fascinated by classical architecture too." Nathan sat down beside Tyler, examining the detailed drawings with appreciative attention. "These columns you've drawn, did you know they're called Corinthian capitals?" As the two became engrossed in conversation, I felt a strange warmth bloom in my chest. The sight of Nathan engaging so genuinely with my son touched something deep within me. Unlike Heather's previous boyfriends who had barely acknowledged Tyler's existence, Nathan treated him with respect and real interest. One afternoon the following week, I was surprised to receive a text from Nathan asking if we could meet at a quiet cafe near my office. When I arrived, he was already waiting, looking uncharacteristically nervous. "Elise, I wanted to talk to you about something important," he began once we were seated, his expression serious. "I want you to be Heather's maid of honor at the wedding." I nearly choked on my coffee. "But Heather didn't even include me as a bridesmaid," I exclaimed, genuinely shocked. "I asked her to reconsider," Nathan replied, determination evident in his voice. "Family is what matters most at milestone moments like these. No one should be excluded because of petty differences." As I studied his earnest expression, I felt a conflicted mixture of gratitude and apprehension. "Heather eventually agreed," Nathan added, though something in his tone suggested the conversation had been far from easy. The next morning, my phone erupted with a barrage of angry notifications. Gwendolyn had sent multiple furious messages, culminating in a demanding voice text, "Call me immediately." When I finally connected with my mother, Gwendolyn's fury was palpable even through the phone. "Heather is absolutely devastated. How dare you manipulate Nathan into this ridiculous maid of honor situation?" "I didn't say anything to him, Mom," I responded, fighting to keep my voice level. "Nathan suggested it himself," I said to my mom. "I can't believe this." Gwendolyn hissed, the familiar accusatory tone slicing through the connection. "You've always been jealous of Heather's happiness. You're trying to ruin her special day just like you try to ruin everything else." I closed my eyes and took a deep, steadying breath, remembering the techniques I'd learned during my recovery years ago. "I want Heather to be happy," I said quietly. "If she truly doesn't want me as her maid of honor, I'll decline Nathan's offer," I said. "You can't back out now," Gwendolyn snapped, her voice simultaneously angry and smug. "Nathan has already announced it on social media. Just don't draw attention to yourself. This is Heather's day, not yours," my mother said. After hanging up, I noticed a new Instagram notification. Heather had posted a perfectly staged photo with her bridesmaids, captioned, "My chosen sisters," with a pointed absence of any mention that her actual sister would be in the wedding party at all. I arrived early at the church with Tyler, wearing a modest sky blue dress chosen not to outshine Heather. Mom, you look beautiful, Tyler said, his smile warming my anxious heart. In the preparation room, Heather barely acknowledged me as she posed with bridesmaids for social media photos. Well, Elise, Gwendolyn remarked with disapproval, that dress is, just like you. Practical. The ceremony proceeded flawlessly, with I catching Nathan's occasional reassuring glances that stirred vague memories. At the reception, professional live streams captured everything as Heather had arranged. During speeches, Heather suddenly targeted me. Here's my sister, perpetually single mother who hasn't been loved by anyone. Anyone want to adopt her? She's house-trained. As uncomfortable laughter spread, Tyler's hand squeezed mine tightly. Gwendolyn followed with, our eldest has always been boring. Second-hand goods, but still usable. Bonus child included. Louder laughter erupted while Tyler whispered, Mom, tears forming. I stood to leave, my resolve strengthened by years of surviving leukemia. Before we could exit, Nathan rose, face flushed with anger. Taking the microphone, he addressed the stunned crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, today I make the most important decision of my life, but not what you expect. Those cruel words about Elise and Tyler were unacceptable. I cannot share such values. 10 years ago, when my sister Lily fought leukemia, Elise volunteered at Boston Memorial. Her compassion sustained our family during Lily's final months, he said. Recognition dawned in my eyes as memories cleared. Lily Sullivan, the young teacher with leukemia. After Lily died, I met Heather at a charity event. I didn't know she was Elise's sister until months later, Nathan said. Every story Heather told about her sister was filled with prejudice, but I hoped people could change. Heather's face contorted with rage as she realized what was happening. Gwendolyn collapsed into a chair as Nathan continued, his voice now quiet but clear. The real shock came when I first saw Tyler. I immediately recognized him as the little boy who visited Lily's hospital room, Nathan said. I looked at Tyler's son with new understanding. At 5, he had often joined my volunteer visits with his drawings. Tyler had this gift for bringing light into that sterile environment. He made Lily smile when nothing else could, Nathan continued. Tyler's eyes widened. I remember. I gave her a garden painting. She had the prettiest smile. Exactly right, Nathan nodded warmly. Lily kept it above her bed until the end. She said it reminded her beauty exists even in hard times. His expression hardened. I've struggled with Heather's cold attitude toward them both, hoping it might change. Today has shattered that hope. He slowly removed his wedding ring, triggering gasps and a flurry of online comments. I am canceling this marriage. Lily taught me that real family means mutual respect and support, values you've clearly rejected. This is a joke, right? Heather screamed as bridesmaids restrained her. No joke, Nathan replied calmly. I'm finally doing what's right. He walked to my table, extending his hand. Let's leave together. Tears streaming, I took his hand as Tyler grasped his other one. Wait. Gwendolyn shrieked. Do you know how much this wedding cost? Send all bills to my office, Nathan replied simply. Outside in the bright sunlight, I took my first deep breath in hours. I still can't believe this, I said. You really don't remember me? Nathan asked gently. I remember Lily's smile through her pain, but honestly, not you specifically. I worked with so many patients after my own recovery, I said. I never forgot you, Nathan said quietly. After Lily died, I tried to find you, but couldn't. What happens now? Tyler asked simply. Let's find a quiet place for lunch and talk, Nathan suggested, placing a gentle hand on Tyler's shoulder. As we drove away, the rearview mirror showed Heather running after us, mascara streaking down her face, her perfect image completely unraveled. Are you okay? Nathan asked me. I don't know, I answered honestly. But I need to get Tyler away from here. Mom? Tyler's small voice came from the back seat. Are you okay? I turned, squeezing his hand. I'm fine. We're together. That's what matters most. Nathan parked the car at a small beachside cafe. From the terrace seats, we could see the gentle waves washing against the shore, and the evening sky painted in strokes of orange and purple. We sat in silence for several moments, the menus untouched before us. The weight of everything that had happened pressed on us like a physical presence. "I'm sorry," Nathan finally broke the silence, "for creating this situation." I shook my head, the sea breeze gently lifting my hair. "You have nothing to apologize for. Thank you for protecting us," I said as I turned my gaze toward my son, my eyes softening. "Especially Tyler," I added. "I'm fine," Tyler said. His voice tried to sound brave, but his small hands trembled visibly on the table. "I know what Grandma and Heather said isn't true," Tyler said. Nathan placed his hand gently on Tyler's shoulder, his touch reassuring. "You're an extraordinary child, Tyler. Did you know how much Lily looked forward to your visits? She called you her little sunshine." Tyler's face brightened instantly, like a cloud passing from the sun. "Really?" "Yes, absolutely true," I smiled, memories flooding back. "Lily's face would light up the entire room whenever you came," I said. Our food arrived, simple yet comforting coastal cuisine. I took a bite, realizing I felt safe for the first time in years. Nathan's quiet presence beside me felt like an anchor in stormy waters. "Nathan," I asked hesitantly after a while, "why did you get engaged to Heather? Did you truly love her?" Nathan contemplated the question, his fingers turning his water glass slowly. "At first, I was genuinely attracted to her vibrancy. After losing Lily, my world had become colorless and silent. Heather was full of energy, being with her made everything around me seem alive again." He paused, his eyes meeting mine. "And when I discovered she was your sister, it felt like some strange twist of fate, even though I couldn't fully place you in my memories." "Something felt connected," he said. Nathan's smile turned bittersweet. "But as time passed, I realized Heather's brightness was merely surface level. She constantly craved attention and lacked genuine compassion, especially toward family," he said. "Yet you still intended to marry her?" I asked softly, curious rather than judgmental. Nathan shrugged, embarrassment crossing his features. "I believed people could change. I tried desperately to see her good qualities, and," he hesitated, his voice dropping, "to be honest, it becomes difficult to reverse course once everything is set in motion. The expectations from everyone were overwhelming." His phone lit up with Heather's name flashing on the screen. Nathan sighed and silenced it, but moments later it rang persistently again. "Perhaps you should answer," I suggested gently. Nathan reluctantly accepted the call. Heather's angry voice carried through the speaker. I and Tyler tried focusing on our meals, but Heather's accusations were impossible to ignore. Nathan responded with remarkable calm, though occasional flashes of weariness crossed his face. "Heather, my decision is final," he eventually stated with quiet firmness. "We can discuss details through our lawyers tomorrow. Please don't contact me again tonight," he said. After ending the call, a heavy silence descended over our table. "I apologize for that," Nathan said quietly. I shook my head, understanding in my eyes. "Don't apologize. This situation is incredibly complicated, isn't it?" I said. "Where are we now?" Tyler suddenly asked, looking between the adults. The unexpected innocence of the question made both us exchange surprised smiles. "Well," Nathan considered thoughtfully, "I believe we're at the beginning of something new." After dinner, Nathan drove us home, pulling up in front of our condominium building. He walked us to the entrance, our steps slow and synchronized. "Thank you for everything today," I said softly. The moonlight illuminated my face, giving me an ethereal glow. "Thank you too," Nathan replied, looking directly into my eyes. "Could I see you both again tomorrow? The three of us?" he asked. My smile was genuine. "Yes, I'd like that. Mom," Tyler said. "Nathan's going to tell me all about Lily." Nathan laughed, the sound natural and unguarded. "Absolutely, Tyler. That's a promise." I stood watching as Nathan returned to his car. When he turned back to smile at me, warmth spread through my chest like sunlight. Inside our apartment, the answering machine blinked with several messages from Gwendolyn. "Elise, how could you do this to us? Heather is devastated. You've manipulated Nathan somehow, haven't you? I sighed and deleted them without listening further. Tyler, time for your bath. School tomorrow, I said. Mom, Tyler tugged at my sleeve, his expression serious. Do you like Nathan? He asked. The directness of my son's question caught me by surprise. I don't know him well yet, Tyler, but yes, he seems like a genuinely good person, I said. I like him, Tyler stated with the absolute certainty only children possess. He's Lily's brother, he stood up for us, and I saw how he looks at you when you're not watching, Tyler said. I stroked his hair, smiling at his insight. You notice everything, don't you? Later that night, after Tyler had fallen asleep, I stood by the living room window, staring at the city lights. My emotions were a complex mixture of confusion and fragile hope. My phone chimed with a message from Nathan. Did you both get home safely? I smiled as I typed my reply, we're fine, thank you. His response came almost instantly, I'm relieved. Good night, Elise. Coffee after you drop Tyler at school tomorrow? I felt my heartbeat quicken. I'd like that. Good night, Nathan, I replied. I held the phone against my heart, exhaling deeply. The family rift, the wedding disaster, this unexpected reunion, everything was happening so quickly. Yet strangely, a sense of peace I hadn't experienced in years enveloped me like a warm embrace. Autumn painted New England in amber and crimson as I stood beneath the newly installed Parker Financial Services sign in Maple Park. Morning sunlight caught the elegant lettering, highlighting the success of my boutique firm launched with Nathan's support. Mom, hurry up. We're late for school. Tyler called from the sidewalk. At 11, he'd grown inches taller, his posture reflecting newfound confidence. As captain of his school's art club and starting midfielder on the soccer team, he blossomed socially beyond my imagination. I'm coming, I smiled, locking my office. The changes in me were evident too, my hair regained its luster, and genuine confidence now shone in my eyes. I'll take him, Nathan appeared from our shared craftsman home. Since our first Christmas together, the three had built a comfortable life, our bond deepening naturally. But your custody case presentation? I asked, concerned. Nathan shrugged. Being 30 minutes late won't derail justice. Today's Tyler's art showcase. Our morning included visiting the cemetery where we placed fresh flowers on Lily's grave. I kept my promise, Lily, Nathan whispered. I squeezed his hand while Tyler placed a painted rock on the gravestone, a personal tradition he'd established. Sometimes I feel she can see my new paintings, Tyler said thoughtfully. I leaned against Nathan. Thank you, Lily, I said silently, grateful for the connection that brought us together. Across town, Heather boxed her designer clothes from her luxury apartment. The wedding scandal had destroyed her social circles, her Instagram following plummeting after viral videos of her meltdown. Gwendolyn's lawsuit attempt, despite Nathan covering all expenses, only worsened their reputation. Heather faced living within her means in a modest apartment after losing her boutique manager position when her influence collapsed. Gwendolyn experienced similar social exile as friends distanced themselves from her behavior. Heather occasionally texted me, receiving cordial but distant responses, slowly realizing some bridges can't be rebuilt with mere apologies. On Christmas Eve, as snow dusted the landscape, we relaxed before a crackling fire. Tyler slept on the couch, his excitement about presents giving way to dreams. Nathan quietly withdrew a velvet box from his pocket. I've been waiting for the right moment, he said softly. I have something for you. Inside was a vintage emerald ring catching the firelight. This was Lily's, Nathan explained gently. She made me promise to save it for someone whose heart is as beautiful as their face. Tears welled in my eyes. You and Tyler have brought light back into my world, Nathan continued, taking my hand. Will you marry me? Let's make official what we already know, we're a family. A real family is connected not by blood but by heart, I smiled through tears, recognizing Lily's wisdom. Yes. We already are a family, aren't we? Outside, snowflakes danced in the glow of street lamps, celebrating new beginnings and the healing power of genuine connection.